Hi, I'm Dean Stewart, founder of the Thinking Revolution and also founder of the Exceptional Leader University. So what is the Exceptional Leader University? Well, this is the channel where I share all the lessons which I wish I'd had, but only learned through the hard knocks of working in big international organizations, exciting, dynamic, but very pressurized media businesses, but also having started and finished my own businesses and been a leader in my own right, employing people and having to drive to make the decisions that you have to make when you're a business owner. And in the last 5 years, I've taken all of that experience and created a number of programs which I deliver through the Thinking Revolution. And that's enabled me to help over 300 senior business leaders, either in the corporate space or who are business owners in their own right, to develop the potential that they have within them to become exceptional leaders. And one of the things that I've discovered is that there's a big gap between what you learn when you're in training and what you experience when you're in the real world. And that's true whether you're working for an organization or whether you own your own business and you're trying to grow that. And the reason that there's a big gap is because what they don't teach you at business school is all the reasons why you can't or won't or don't do the things that you need to become a great leader. So they're very good at telling you the things that you need to do, but they're not very good at telling you what gets in the way. And that's what the Exceptional Leader University is all about. It's about bringing out of the shadows all of those barriers, all of those obstacles. And here's the kicker, most of them exist within you to becoming an exceptional leader. So let's start off by defining what leadership really is. Now, if you go on Google, you can find thousands of different definitions of leadership. And there's literally hundreds of books on leadership which all have their own definition of leadership. But I've created a definition that I think represents what leadership is truly about. And it's a very, very simple idea. Because in the world that I've experienced, leadership is about one thing and one thing only. And that's this. It's about getting results. Leadership is about getting results. And that's it. And what I've discovered through this career that I've had in the commercial world is that there's 5 key elements that go to determine whether you can create the results that you're looking for. But remember, this is the Exceptional Leader University. So first of all, what do I mean by an exceptional leader? So I'm not talking about the Richard Bransons, Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, Jack Ma's of the world, who've created multi-billion-pound businesses. What I'm talking about is the 1% of leaders who get the results they really want. So leadership is about getting the results that you want. So the first element that you have to become a master of is getting the results you want. But the difference between an ordinary stroke good leader that makes up the 99% of all of those people who are leaders is that the 1% understand what they really want. So what's the difference? Well, for the 99%, their results are usually defined for them. If you work for a big company, they usually come in the form of some sort of business plan. Now you may be asked to contribute to the formulation of that business plan. But the core objective of where that business plan is trying to go to and where it's trying to take the organization has been set at the top. So ultimately the result that you're trying to achieve is coming down from the top. If you're a business owner, you might feel that the results that you can achieve are determined for you, I don't know, by the political situation, by the economic situation, by what's going on in your local high street, what your local competitors are doing. Some sense of limitation that you can't achieve what you really want because of circumstances outside your control. But exceptional leaders get through that. Exceptional leaders know what they really want, and they've developed the skills within themselves to enable them to achieve that result. So knowing what you really want is the first skill that you have to become a master of if you're going to become an exceptional leader. The second skill that you have to become master of is being able to deal with this. When. Now, I've used the word when because it's a very different thing to time. When we talk about time, it tends to take our mind towards the idea of time management, getting more done in less hours, being more productive. But that's not what when is about. When is about being able to deal with two particular aspects of getting results, two particular aspects of leadership, and that is control and uncertainty. Whatever decision you take, whatever you're trying to achieve, whatever results you're trying to get, there are going to be some aspects of that journey that you can control, and there's going to be some aspects that you can't control. And that's going to create uncertainty. Developing the skill of dealing with uncertainty and those areas in which you don't have control is the key to being able to deal with the when. It's not about time management, it's about control and uncertainty. The third aspect that you have to become a master of is the aspect of how. Now, you may have come across some training in leadership which says you have to go before you know how. And I totally agree with that. Because if you think about it, whenever you're doing something new, whenever you're trying to get people to do things they've never done before, whenever you're trying to move outside of your comfort zone, the chances are you've probably never done it before. That means you don't know how. That means you have to learn as you go along. And as you think about that idea, what you'll see is, of course, it's very much connected to the when. Because when you don't know how, there's a high degree of uncertainty and there's a lack of control. So these are the key three aspects that you have to become a master of if you're going to deliver the results you really want. But if you can't manage the uncertainty and the lack of control which comes with identifying the when and the how of what you're trying to do, then the chances are you're not going to get the results you really want. And what will happen is you will end up managing the unintended consequences of the decisions and the actions that you take. And this is what 99% of leaders do. And this is why 99% of leaders are always complaining that they don't have enough time, is that they're managing the unintended consequences of their decisions. So my objective with the Exceptional Leader University is to help you move from managing unintended consequences to creating intentional results, the results you really want. So there are two more elements that you have to become a master of if you're going to create the results you really want and be an exceptional leader. And they come out of one particular aspect, and that is the aspect of who. Who is it that you're going to be leading? Well, you might think that's an obvious question. Well, I'm going to be leading my team, I'm going to be leading my staff, my employees. But it doesn't start there. Exceptional leaders start with themselves. So the idea of self-leadership, it doesn't really flow off the tongue, does it? We don't talk in terms of saying, hey, I'm a leader of myself. So there's another term which is much more useful, and it enables us to think about this in a much more productive way. And that is, it's the skill of personal mastery. This is the aspect that I really discovered is what they don't teach you at business school. Because everything that's going to stop you becoming an exceptional leader exists in this aspect of your personal mastery. Because it's only when you've developed that skill of personal mastery that you are then really fully equipped to be able to do what we usually consider to be the skill of leadership, and that is to lead others. And if you do that little exercise of looking on Google for a definition of leadership, what you'll find is most of those definitions refer to how you lead others. How you get others to do perhaps what they hadn't considered or didn't want to do. How you motivate them. But you can only do that effectively if you can do it for yourself first. All exceptional leaders start with self and they become great leaders of others. So these are the 5 aspects of leadership which you have to master if you're going to move out of the 99% of people who are ordinary to good leaders and become one of the 1% that are exceptional leaders. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. In the next 5 videos, I'm going to go through each of these elements in more detail. So please subscribe to the channel, and that way you'll get a notification every time I release a new video. And if you've enjoyed it, please give me a thumbs up in the comment, or even leave me a comment. I love to hear what people have got to say. I'll always respond. And if you have enjoyed it, I look forward to seeing you in the next video.